I'm live? Oh yeah. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all doing well. And I hope you all had a great game week 11. First of all, apologies that I could not stream for game week 11. I had to go on my son's sports day event. He was performing and he wanted me to be there, and I guess nothing is more important than that, guys, so I had to go there. But I did update my team, I did post my team as well, and unfortunately I forgot to swap Fabianski and Flecken. That cost me a total of 8 points, and it was totally because I was busy at the event. I had thought that I'm going to play Fabianski, but before I set my team I forgot, and then I had posted my screenshot, so I thought like I'm not gonna update it in the last 10 minutes now. Yeah, it's alright, it's a part of the game. So we move forward. I just wanted to show you this screen, and now this is my team for this, and this is just full of yellow flags right now, but I think most of these players should be all right. They're just knocks, you know, and in case they're not fine, I've got decent cover off the bench. In fact, I've been considering before coming to the stream swapping Mykolenko with Lewis, you know, because I feel that Lewis, I think with Walker being back, Lewis is not going to play at right back, I think, and with John Stones now fit, and you know, maybe he can play John Stones, and I think Pep prefers to play John Stones ahead of Lewis, you know. The only thing is Kovacic may be injured, so maybe Lewis can take that spot, you know, who knows. But I don't want to take a risk of the last 5 minutes with him coming on. I know Mykolenko is going to play all the game, although I don't expect Everton to keep a clean sheet or anything, but still. So hey, welcome to the stream, Zara, Smelly Web, Light Race, Todd, Devendra. Great having you all here, guys. I hope you're having a good season. I hope you're having a good time, and I hope your team looks better than mine. So CAV says, hey, I'm on a wildcard this week. My team was a mess. Pickford plus Van Hecke to Rhea plus Dean. CAV, welcome to the stream, man. I think it's a good time to wildcard. By the way, I have, you know, I have kind of made a wildcard team right now. You know, you can say it's kind of fairly a template team, but I think this week, based on the fixture swings, it has to be a template. Hey Bekalo, welcome to the stream, mate. So if you look at the wildcard team that I made, it contains mostly like you know, Mo Salah, Palmer, Bruno Fernandes as the premium players in midfield. That's the core of the team, guys. You can pick the rest of the players, it doesn't make a difference. The core of the team would be Mo Salah, Palmer and Bruno Fernandes. Striker, it depends whether you want to pick Haaland or not. So if you want to pick Haaland, then obviously it has to be Haaland plus somebody like a Joao Pedro, plus somebody like Cunha or Strand Larsen or Raul Jimenez. But the core would be Haaland, Bruno Fernandes, Palmer, Mo Salah, along with Gabriel in defense. You know, and maybe you can supplement that with somebody like a Colville, who's a cheap Chelsea defender. I wouldn't go with Sanchez. I think there are better options than him, but if you want to pick a 4.5 million or around defender, I think Colville has to be it. So Colville, Gabriel, Mo Salah, Palmer, Bruno Fernandes, Haaland. Right, so if you want to pick a non-Haaland team, you can go with somebody like a Mo Salah, Palmer, Saka and Bruno Fernandes. That means a 4-man premium midfield. And then you can pick your striking options as Isaac, Joao Pedro, plus somebody else. So these are your options. You can kind of make your team around that. If you still have any doubts or questions, let me know. As an enabler, I think in midfield, I don't think you need to pick an enabler. Just pick somebody like a Morgan Rogers or somebody of that sort. If you still need like a 4.5 million enabler, you don't have the money, then go for Harry Winks. I think that's the one. I've gone for Delap as my third striker. I think Delap is fine, mate. I think Delap is good. Joao Pedro is also really good. Look at the Brighton fixtures coming up. I think Joao Pedro is also really good. So, Brighton fixtures are really, really good. And I think Joao Pedro, if he's back in form and back in fitness, not in form, back in fitness, I think he'll do really well in these fixtures. Bruno Fernandes is a bit of a surprise inclusion by me, but I feel that, with new manager bounce and the decentish fixtures for Bruno Fernandes, I think it deserves to be included. If you're looking for a 4.5 million defender to supplement Colville and Gabriel, I think you should look at somebody like a Hall, Ait Nouri, Hall, Anderson of Fulham is good, Dean from Aston Villa if you want. So there's like many options. I've given you a lot of options. If you still have any doubts or questions, just let me know. I'll help you throughout the hour. So no worries. We'll get you to a best wildcard squad. Don't worry. Ooh, all right. So that was something. Captain Bruno, Palmer or Haaland? Bruno, Palmer or Haaland? Out of these, I think I would captain Haaland, mate. The issue with Palmer is, away from home, it just feels tough for me to advocate captaining him. Although the game is against Leicester, it's just one of those things that makes me not want to captain him. Again, Tottenham are without Romero as well. So, yeah, you can captain Haaland, man. It just goes for the safe option. Again, Ipswich away, I don't know how they're going to play. Manchester United, at home is a different thing, but away from home, I don't know how they're going to play. So if you want to trust the unknown, that's totally up to you. But in my opinion, I just think that it's better to go with the known. Semenyo, Foden, Salah, Mbumo, Rogers, DCL, Raul, Haaland. Which one of them to bench? DCL, I guess. DCL or I think Raul Jimenez has a bit of fitness thing. This fitness issue. So maybe he can miss out. If he misses out, I think although he'll want to play against his old club Wolves, but if he misses out, then obviously your substitute player will come in. So you don't need to worry about that too much. Yeah. So I think you can either bench DCL or you can bench Raul, or you can bench Semenyo. You have to choose between the two. I think Foden, the issue with Foden now is, with KDB being back and, City having this boost. I don't know what's wrong with Pep and Foden this season, but there is definitely something there. I don't know why Pep is not preferring to play Foden as much as he should. So we don't know what's going on there, but let's see if we find something out today. So in my opinion, yeah, just bench either DCL, Raul. I think I wouldn't bench Raul, bench DCL or Semenyo. Yes, Joao Pedro, Haaland, Delap is my front three. I rate Bruno. I want to see how United do first. That's fine, CAV. It's just about being first to get Bruno and pick up the haul. That's the only thing which you can do is kind of target. Otherwise, I think there's not much between. I think Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic pick at the price point he's at. He's virtually the center of United's attack all the time. Whatever United does, it is right. Going through Bruno, everything. So I think it's all right. But if you like, I understand your perspective as well. If you want to kind of avoid right now and you first want to see it, it's fine. It's just like investing, CAV. I have to give you this parallel kind of, it's just like investing. For example, like when a certain, instrument is kind of, or a certain equity is falling, there are 3-4 types of people who actually buy it at different price points. Some people buy the equity right when it starts to bounce. They take a risk and they don't consider it that it could be a short-term bounce and it will continue to fall again. So they buy it right from the bottom. They are called bottom fishers. So they kind of fish for the bottom. Others are, they buy when it kind of turns around and it gives you a certain percentage move, and they are the early trend catchers, and then it goes up more. Then people buy the breakouts. So it's all depends on what is your risk appetite in regards to your wildcard. Because you're on a wildcard, you're picking your favorite team. I think taking 1 or 2 risks is all right, in my personal opinion. I hope you understood the parallel, by the way. It's a bit too related to charting, trading, I don't know, but I hope you understood. Asmir says, hey, was looking at doing Diaz to Salah and Solanke to Joao Pedro. I think that's great, bro. If I was you, I'd do it. My wildcard is pretty template, to be fair, and just, you need your wildcard to be template, bro. The template is template for a reason. Remember that, Yeah. I think there's no problem with being a template on your wildcard. So thinking Rhea and Dean for Pickford and Van Heck. I think Rhea and Dean is perfectly fine, bro. I think Rhea is the only premium keeper worth having, especially looking at Arsenal's upcoming run of fixtures. And by the way, guys, there's no international breaks now till February end or March, I think. So it's going to be like lots and lots of Premier League action. So get ready, fasten your seat belts, and we're in for a long haul this time, guys. Lightray says, hey Todd or Viz, is the new draft happening after the deadline, or what happens to the old draft we did? The old draft is continuing, Lightrays. I think the new draft we should do next week because we're coming back from international break. So I'm going to make the announcement today. So hopefully I'll request Todd to make the draft next time, and we'll do it at this after Game Week 13 is over. I think that would be a better time to do it, because right now we're coming back from international break, so we didn't have time to brief everybody. And also I did not do the stream before we were going on an international break, so it's been a long gap. So let me fill this gap. Let me tell everybody now for the draft, and we'll do it after Game Week 13 is over. I hope that works. A testimony says, hey, we'll start Cunha or Welbeck. I will start I'll start Welbeck, I think. It's a very difficult question, though. I mean, after Cunha Hall last time, it's difficult for me to call. But I think Fulham is a better defense than Bournemouth. So that's where... Ideally, I'll start both of them. But if I had to start one, I think just based on the defense, I think I'll start Welbeck. Otherwise, they're both great. Start Hall or Ait Nouri. I'll start Hall, bro. Ait Nouri for the attacking returns. Hall for, I guess, the more potential for a clean sheet. So you decide what you want to do, in my opinion. I think Hall has a more chance of a clean sheet. West Ham are not like doing really well at all, West Ham are like, they lost 3-0 to Nottingham Forest, drew against Everton. They only beat Manchester United because of that late decision. Otherwise, they haven't been doing well. So I'd say Hall for the clean sheet, Nouri for the attacking points. Bikalu says, hey, my team is looking very messy right now. I have Arnold, Konza, both injured. I have Johnson, Solanke, Wood, difficult games. Bro, I don't think Wood is a problem. I think he's proven that he's even doing well in the difficult game. So I don't think you need to worry about Wood. I think Solanke is fine too. As of now, when your team is in mess, don't look at the playing 11 players who have bad fixtures. At least they're going to play, right? You never know what happens in football. So I would ignore like taking out players like Solanke and Wood. I would keep them. I would focus more on Arnold and Konza. You know, I would look at picking somebody like if you don't have an Arsenal defense, you can pick up an Arsenal defender. If you already have an Arsenal defender, you know, you can think of picking up somebody like a Dunk or a Van Hecke. You know, you can save some money there. And try to fix your defense. You can pick up Colville as well if you want to, a Chelsea defender or any Chelsea defender of your choice. So if you see, the thing is, Bikalu, I mean, if you're doing well, I don't think there's any problem with wildcarding as well right now. I think wildcards are meant not only to kind of help you when your ship is sinking. I think wildcards are meant to help you also when you're kind of doing well. They also help you push up the ranks, right? So you have to kind of decide what you want to do with the wild card. I think if you are like, if you don't like your team too much, you think you need to make 5, 6, 7 transfers to get your ideal team, I think wildcarding is not a problem, bro. Do I need to sell Robinson in my wildcard for Hall? I think you can. Fulham fixtures are turning a bit. They're going to become a little bit more tough, and I think Newcastle's fixtures are good, and Newcastle also do not have like any European commitments this time as well. So I think Newcastle, especially Hall, I think is good. In my opinion, Hall is a very good 4.5 million player to have, to be honest with you. So I think sell Robinson for Hall, I'd say yes. Babin says Trent and McNeil to Hall and Garnacho for a hit. This hit thing always hits me hard. I just find it so difficult to recommend taking out players for a hit. I'm telling you this, you know. So if you ask me, you know, McNeil should be all right. You know, the Sean Dyche in his press conference, he spoke about Jared Branthwaite. He's gonna be fine. He said Dwight McNeil has had a really good week. So I think McNeil's gonna be fine. Why don't you just take out Trent Alexander-Arnold to like any defender of your choice and leave McNeil as it is, and then consider next week, because I don't think Ipswich away is the fixture that you need Garnacho definitely for. And let's see how Amorim kind of sets up his team. You'll get some time as well. Don't take a hit, in my opinion, bro. Beko says, do you think Hall will keep his place when Trippier and Burn come back? I think Hall will keep his place over Dan Burn. I think Burn doesn't fit well at left back. I think Burn was more covering at centre back. Trippier is obviously a right back, you know. So Livramento, you know, and all the other players are second to him, you know. So if Hall plays well, I don't see any reason why he doesn't keep his place. But I think that's for the later, you know. But for the foreseeable future, I think Hall is a good option, to be honest with you. Isaac or Cunha? Isaac. No questions asked, bro. Isaac. Zaid says Son, Johnson and Vardy to Saka, Palmer and Joe Pedro. See, bro, the issue with this move is Saka, Arteta said he has a very, very, very late kind of fitness test, you know, or you know, I read a tweet where it said that he has a very, very, very late fitness test. So what happens if Saka doesn't play, you know, and you're taking a hit for a player who doesn't play? Then what are you going to do? That's the problem, you know. So why not just do a Son to a Palmer, you know, and Vardy to a Joao Pedro, and hold on the other move, I guess. Keep the Saka move for next time, you know. So yeah, I'll simply do a Son to Palmer and Vardy to Joao Pedro. Even with the Vardy to Joao Pedro is not required because it's not an easy game. The thing is, it all depends on what your expectations are for this game. Technically, Brighton's easy fixtures kind of start from next game week onwards. Bournemouth away is not an easy fixture, you know. The thing is, Arsenal struggled there. Even Manchester City struggled there, you know. So it's not an easy fixture by any stretch of the imagination. Bournemouth away. Also, somebody just asked me whether they should start Welbeck or Cunha. Guys, I think I'm reconsidering. I think you should start Cunha. It's my mistake. I think Testimony asked me this question. Start Cunha or Welbeck, bro. I think Fulham and Bournemouth both are good defenses, but I think Cunha is in better form. So it's a difficult one, but I'm going with Cunha. I'm sorry I said Welbeck before. Lewis to Mazraoui. Dean or Kirkez? Dean is fine, but Dean, the problem with Dean again, Aston Villa has too many fixture congestion coming up. Mazraoui can be a good option, but I want to see how Amorim plays. Kirkez again, you know, the fixtures for Bournemouth, yeah, I mean they're really good. I mean, Kirkez is a good option as well. He gets forward, you know, his option to make some assists as well. But you know, this time, I think if you have an option, just put Lewis on the bench. I think it would be better to consider this move next week, you know. If you don't have anyone, then obviously I think you have to think about Mazraoui or Kirkez. Even Dean is good, but the problem with Dean again is, you know, when there's too many fixtures, you know, and he's a bit injury prone, you know, that's the thing. Which defender would you suggest for TA? Go cheap with Hall or get Gabriel? Go for Gabriel, bro. As soon as Gabriel scores a goal or Arsenal keep a clean sheet, it will harm your rank. You know, that's the problem. Best 4.3 million defender. 4.3 million defender. I think Anderson from Fulham is a bit underrated. If you ask me, I think Anderson from Fulham is pretty good. I think, how much is Mykolenko now? I think he's still 4.3, isn't it? Mykolenko is okay, you know, but the fixtures from game week 15 are just like absolutely bad. So he's got Brentford and Wolves home until that, but the fixtures are absolutely horrible for Everton. Anybody who's holding on to like all these Everton assets, they need to sell them within the next 3 weeks. I think you should think about Anderson from Fulham, even though their fixtures are tough, you know, but I think Anderson from Fulham you can consider. Who else? Hang on. I made a list. I'm trying to find that list of players that I made. It always happens that I keep the stuff handy, so that I can reproduce it when somebody asks me questions. But right now, for some reason, I'm unable to find it. Just give me a second, bro. I need to find it because all the questions or all the answers which I'm giving, they have to be based on facts. I just can't say anything. Right. So I think Van Hecke can be an option. How much is he now? 4.5, right? 4.5 is too much for Van Hecke. Yeah, just a second. Who else? Actually, I don't. In my list, I did not really put a really cheap defender because I don't really like anyone in the price bracket. Just a second. Right. So again, I think Anderson is a really good option. Beyond that, I don't really like anyone, you know. I mean, Wolves have Totti, but thing is, Wolves are not keeping any clean sheets really, you know. But they've got good fixtures as well. But because I prefer Aït-Nouri from that defense, so I would not recommend going with Totti, you know. That's the issue. Who else? I don't really have too many defenders in that price bracket. You know, again, Van de Berg from Brentford is there, but you know, they just keep conceding goals left, right, and center. I don't like anyone, bro. I think Anderson is your pick if you want to go there. I don't like anybody else. I hope I managed to answer your question. Because Romero is injured, I mean, Dragushin from Tottenham is going to play, but do you think they're going to keep a clean sheet with Dragushin? I don't think so. Anyways, let's go forward. I have more questions to answer. Saka to Palmer. Arun, the thing is, Saka has a late fitness test. Saka has a difficult fixture against Nottingham Forest at home. I don't think it's an easy fixture. I think it's a difficult fixture against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have been really, really good. So I think Arteta will try to play Saka. I don't think Arteta will kind of not play Saka if Saka has the possibility to play. After that, they have really good fixtures. But the thing is, Palmer or long term also have really good fixtures. So I really want both Saka and Palmer in my team rather than either or. And if you have Saka, I would keep him. If you have Palmer, I would keep him. I wouldn't swap them. Depends on what happens if Saka doesn't play this week. Do you have decent cover on the bench? So if you don't have cover for Saka on the bench, then you can consider selling Saka. And if you feel that he's not going to start, you can consider selling him. On this note, let me answer a couple of questions. Then let me take you to jump the wave. My backline is 8 Nouri, Mikalenko, and 8 Nouri. Wow, Subhajit. Two 8 Nouris would be good, isn't it? They score 1 goal and you get points for 2 goals. I have Van de Ven. Should I sell him to Hall and bench Mikalenko? I would sell Van de Ven to Hall, yes, and bench Mikalenko. I need to know your backline properly, bro. It's a bit confusing, the question. I have Mbumo, Wissa, Saka, Trent, Palmer. Do I quit? No, you should not quit. It's all good, bro. Play Palmer. I think Palmer's going to be fine. Keep Saka. Mbumo, I think it's just a knock. He's going to be okay. I would sell Trent. That's the first one who I would sell. You're going to be alright, bro. If you have a wild card, you can wild card. If you don't have a wild card, just sell a couple of your players. You should be alright. Keep Palmer, keep Saka, keep Mbumo. Dean, Delap, 8 Nouri. Which one to bench? Dean, Delap, 8 Nouri. 8 Nouri. I would bench 8 Nouri out of them. CAV. What's your transfer this week? I'm not making a transfer, Thakif. But if I had to make a transfer, it would be maybe Raul Jimenez out for somebody like a Joao Pedro or a Denny Welbeck. But I'm not making a transfer this week because I feel that I have enough cover on the bench in case Raul doesn't play. So I'm saving a transfer. Captain Palmer as he's low-key just a chill guy. Yep. Nothing against it, mate. Hey FPL Juggernaut, welcome to the stream, mate. I hope you're doing well. FPL Smelly Up says, my team needs sorting. I'm thinking Saka, Trent, Konza, Vardy. Saka, Trent, Konza and Vardy to Salah, Weltman, Hall, Ings. I don't like Ings, Smelly Wab. I would prefer somebody like a Joao Pedro here. Hall is good. Salah is obviously good. Weltman is fine. Dunk, Van Hecka, whoever you want. They're fine. But I would take Joao Pedro or Strand Larsen over Ings. I don't like West Ham striking options, bro. Even West Ham are not, as a team, they're not playing well. Why would we pick Ings? Sobajit says, that's very funny. Sorry, my backline is 8 Nouri, Mikalenko and Kanate. I have Van de Ven. Should I sell him to Hall and bench Mikalenko? If you have a free transfer, I think selling Van de Ven to Hall, I think makes sense. Sagar says, Haaland to Isaac, Johnson to Palmer for a -4. Selling Haaland for a hit just doesn't feel right, bro. You see, guys, listen, I want to make one thing very clear. You are not realizing that Haaland is not a bad FPL asset all of a sudden. Manchester City did not have midfield options. They were playing with a makeshift team. But if De Bruyne is back, if John Stones is back, if Kyle Walker is back, guys, it'll make their team really solid again. And you are not understanding the impact that Pep Guardiola has signed a new 2-year deal. It is a 1-year extension with an option to extend for 1 more year. Guys, it'll have an impact on Manchester City. Do not discount these intangible things. Like, now the players know that Pep Guardiola is going to be there for 2 more years. Do you think they're not going to try hard, like, to win this game or to win this season? They're going to try very hard, and Haaland is going to be at the center of everything they do. Why should we sell Haaland now? when Manchester City is starting to have good their fixtures are turning. They played against Arsenal, they played against, the difficult teams. So why should, maybe they've got one more tough game to go or two, but otherwise I would keep Haaland, bro. Why to sell to Isaac for a hit? I don't understand. I mean, you want to get Palmer, I understand that, but in my personal opinion, the only player I will sell Haaland for is Salah, otherwise not. Yeah, but Sagar, I know it's a juicy fixture versus Leicester, but can we do these transfers every week? What if like next week Haaland has a more juicy fixture, then how will you get him back? You have to pick your fights, man. You have to pick your battles. You have to choose them wisely. Good morning, Viz says, my Lotaf, I'm on a wild card. How would you call Action Jackson versus Isaac for the next 6 weeks? That's a very interesting question, bro. Difficult and interesting. So I feel Chelsea's fixtures are really good. I feel Chelsea's fixtures are really good for the next upcoming foreseeable games, but so are Isaac's, right? Isaac's fixtures are, and they don't have any international, the midweek Champions League fixtures as well. So I would pick Isaac over Jackson. Isaac is the talisman of that team. Jackson is not the talisman of Chelsea. That's the thing. Rodgers or Semenyo? Rodgers, bro. Hi Wiz, I have 3 free transfers. Was planning to just a second. Hi Wiz, I have 3 free transfers. Was planning to get in Jackson for Vardy. And second transfer, who would you recommend for Foden? I have 8.4 million in the bank. Jackson for Vardy. 8.4. I don't think you're gonna be able to. I mean, you can go for Bruno Fernandes at 8.4. I mean, that sounds like a good move. Yeah, I mean that can work, to be honest with you. Jackson and Bruno Fernandes. Yes, us. What do you think about it? You let me know. Smelly Web says thanks. You're welcome, bro. You're always welcome. DCL to Joao Pedro. I would go with DCL to Joao Pedro. I think Joao Pedro has really good fixtures coming up. Sell Trent for Anderson. Saka for Salah. Is this good? I think it's pretty good, bro. I like this. I like this move. Doesn't matter. 0 in the bank doesn't matter. The move is good. I like the move. What if Salah goes off early for Madrid next fixture? I mean, these things we cannot predict, my friend. We cannot predict these things. How can we predict what happens to Salah because of the Madrid fixture? I think first of all, they're top of the league. I think they have to maintain their position at the top of the league. So if you ask my opinion, I think they're going to be focused on the league first. I mean, yes, if they're winning by 3-4-0 and Salah goes off, he's done his work. He's already done what he was there to do. He's scored, he's assisted, he's done whatever he wanted to do. Then if Salah goes off, I have no problems with that, my friend. Hey Viz, decided on wildcarding. I'm going without Haaland. Forward player suggestion. If you're going without Haaland, go with Isaac. Go with Joao Pedro. Go with Isaac. Go with Joao Pedro. And who else? I guess the third one can be like if you have the money, obviously I'd say Jackson. Cunha is good, but if you don't have the money, just pick somebody like a Strand Larson type of a player, and I think you'll be fine. Strand Larson or Raul Jimenez, Joao Pedro and Alexander Isaac. Midfield is picks itself. Salah, Palmer, Saka and Bruno Fernandes. I mean, if you don't want to pick Saka, you can go with Son. And but the thing is, Son also has a tough fixture this week. So I would personally simply pick Saka, Palmer, Salah and Bruno Fernandes. And in defense, I would pick Gabriel, and I'll pick the rest of the players like Colville, Hall, everybody around him. In defense, I think Rhea, if you have the money. If you don't have the money, then there's just like loads of cheap keepers. You can go for Sanchez. You can think about Verbruggen. You can consider like in my personal opinion, I'd like Sanchez. I'd like Verbruggen. They're good. Beyond that, there's the same like Fleckens and Muric and all these players, but I would not go for them. Right, Salah didn't had any games during the international break. He'd be fresh for Southampton. Yeah, and to be honest with you, if they're like on the top of the league, if they're not, if they want to stay top of the league, if they're winning by 2, 3, 4 goals, then they take Salah off. Then I don't have any problems with that. If they're struggling, if they're like 1-0 up, I don't think he takes Salah off. You don't take a player like Salah off. Devendra says, in my defense, I'm playing Murillo, Mazraoui, Weltman, Burn, Harvard Bellis. Should I replace Burn to Anderson for 1 free transfer and get that extra 0.1 in the bank? I don't... Burn, huh? So the thing with Burn is, he's currently out. Is suspended till I think next game week is going to be back. I think you can keep Dan if you have good defense. I don't think why do you need to kind of just keep him, bro? You have Murillo, you have Veltman, you have Mazraoui, right? So you have 3 playing defenders. You've got Harvard Bellis for cover. I don't think you need that, Devendra. Don't waste your transfer, bro, in my opinion. Fulham also doesn't have the easiest fixture. So start Mbumo or Delap. Ipswich also have a tough game against United. But he's a Manchester City player, Delap. Mbumo, I think, as a game against... I think I'll start Mbumo, mate. Keep Watkins or hit for Isaac. Keep Watkins. Just a second. What? No. I'm not captaining Haaland. I'm captaining Salah, mate. FPL Juggernaut, good points. Says NYX. Yep, Juggernaut always makes good points. He's an awesome member of our FPL Visit community. My backline will be Mikalenko, Aitnouri, Lewis, Anderson, Greaves. Is this good? Mikalenko, Aitnouri, Lewis, Anderson. The only problem I have is Lewis here. Maybe you can replace Lewis with somebody else, because with Kyle Walker and John Stones and even Akanji being back, I think Lewis will get fewer minutes now. Otherwise, I mean, it's fine. I would love to have Gabriel in place of Lewis, and I think then it will look better, to be honest with you, bro. Again, Everton fixtures are turning. Aitnouri is fine. Anderson is fine. And if you add Gabriel to that, I think you'll be alright. Hi Wes, who is your transfer target for this game week? I'm not making any transfers, SH. Welcome to the stream, SH. And I'm not making any transfers this game week. My plan was to take out Raul Jimenez for Joao Pedro. But because Raul Jimenez is playing against his previous team, I'm giving him this one more game week, and then I'm going to take out Raul Jimenez and I'm going to bring in somebody like Joao Pedro or Danny Welbeck. Depends on what I feel like. My captain is Salah this week. Is Neto a great differential since I don't have Palmer? No, I don't think Neto is a great differential. I think Chelsea have got too many players who can play in the same place, and yes, I mean Neto is a good option, but I don't trust his minutes, But if you want, you can go with that. That's totally your option. But I personally, I wouldn't think that Neto is going to cover for Palmer. Johnson, Mbumo to Neto. I personally don't like. I think Neto is a good player, but I don't like his. Brennan Johnson, you wanna take him out? Bro, I'm not sure about Neto. That's the thing. Which one to choose is a separate issue. I would obviously choose Johnson over Mbumo. I would keep Mbumo, I would sell Johnson, but you have to decide whether you really want NATO in your team. Navneet says, hi Viz, this is my team: Rhea, Fabianski, Gabriel, Konza, Delo, Rico Lewis, Wout Fez, Rogers, Palmer, Mbumo, Johnson, Haaland, Garnacho, Raul, and Calvert-Lewin. I've got 2.8 in the bank, 1 free transfer. What to do? Mbumo, Johnson, Palmer, Rogers, and Garnacho. Bro, your team is screaming for Salah, bro. You need Salah in that team, bro. See how you can get Salah in your team. That's the thing. Otherwise, your team looks fine. You know, if you don't have a FOMO of Salah, I think your team looks okay. But one thing is, I don't like this. You know, like Rico Lewis is kind of now quickly gonna become redundant. Otherwise, the Calvert-Lewin obviously also has to be sold. But otherwise, the team looks good. But I would like Salah in that team, bro. Is there much in Semenyo and Rogers? Also Hall and Kirkaz. Out of Hall and Kirkaz, I would pick Hall. Between Semenyo and Rogers, I would possibly pick Rogers because Semenyo, one thing, he has a bit of a knee injury. You know, he has this issue. Let me see what my notes say about Semenyo. So he has a tendonitis in his knee. They both have, like, Kirkez and this Semenyo have tendonitis. They can play, but they have a bit of a pain. So Semenyo will play, but I'm not sure if he's going to be 100%. I think it's just easier to pick Rogers against Palace because it's just when he plays well, I think he plays really well. Rogers. Why not captaining Haaland over Salah? I don't know. I just I feel that Salah is kind of in the moment right now, where he, you know, even he is scoring low XG chances like so easily. Cole Palmer starts for Chelsea. Well, we already kind of knew that. But guys, we have the news. Cole Palmer starts for Chelsea. We have a leak. I was focusing too much on the answers. I did not look at Twitter. This is the first time I'm looking at any leaks or anything. Then the first thing I see is Cole Palmer starts. What else? Let me see. No, I think this is the only thing which is I think this is the only news which I have right now. If I have anything else, I'll let you know, guys. Cole Palmer starts. This is what. Right. Lewis could have an extended run if Kovac is yes, but the thing is, I'm not sure if he is the like-for-like replacement for Kovacic, and if he needs a defensive midfielder that way, I think he prefers John Stones more than he prefers Rico Lewis. And also, you know, it's, I don't know, let's see. Is there my answer that? Okay. Saka, Mbumo and Robertson to Salah, Smith Rowe and Hall. I don't like the -4. The moves are alright. I mean, Smith Rowe again, tough fixtures coming up, but I guess you really need Salah. So I like the moves, but I don't like the -4. Hi Wiz, your opinion, who's a good shout for a differential captaincy option for this week? I guess Palmer. Palmer is a good shout for a differential captain. I don't think even Bruno Fernandes if you own him, but I'd stick with Palmer. If I don't want to captain Haaland or Salah, I think the next best option for me is Palmer. Yeah, I'm benching Lewis as well. Hey Mohib, I hope you're doing well. Best 6 million striker keeping upcoming fixtures in mind. I think you can even go below 6 million. I think you can go with Joao Pedro if you want. But if you want a 6 million striker, then I would consider Welbeck, my friend. What do you think says Muhib. What do I think about what, bro? Hey Muhib, what is your question? Did you ask me a question before and I did not answer it? I'm sorry. Can you repeat your question? Palmer or Haaland captain? Out of these two, I'd select Haaland, mate. Marco D. Gouveia says Hall or Kirkaz. Mate, Kirkaz, it plays against Brighton. Hall, I think, is potentially has the better fixture against West Ham. I think I'll pick Hall over Kirkaz. Abhirup says best differential captain out of, and Kirkaz has a knee issue as well. Best differential captain out of Haaland, Salah and Bruno. Bruno obviously differential, obviously Bruno. I mean, even Salah I think is good. It depends on what rank you're on, how much EO he has, but I think Salah is also a good captain, but he's not a differential. Technically Bruno would be the differential captain. I think captaincy this week will be split between Salah and Haaland. Maybe a little bit goes to a Palmer. If you really want a differential, Bruno is the differential, but it all depends on how much you feel is the potential there. Ten Hag or Amorim? Azmir, the thing is, I do not know anything about Amorim. I don't pretend to know Portuguese football really well, and so I'm not really well placed to comment on Amorim. Just watching one game against Manchester City because his team beat him doesn't mean that he is going to be an instant success or anything. But if you see that game, Amorim's team had a possession of 33% and City had a possession of 67% even against Amorim, even though they beat him 4-1. I think it's also because they had a great player in Gyökeres, Victor Gyökeres. But in my opinion, it's still a counter-attacking style of football. How he can adapt, it all remains to be seen, my friend. Would you do a Foden and Son to a Palmer and Bruno? No, I think I would do it. I think Foden and Son to Palmer and Bruno, it's exciting, it's good. Marco says, thanks, you're welcome, my friend. Success says Delap versus Welbeck versus Pedro. I'd say Pedro and Welbeck number 1, Delap number 2 for me. Pedro and Welbeck number 1, and if Pedro takes a little bit of more credit because he's 0.5 cheaper than Welbeck. So Pedro, Welbeck and Delap. Should I get Gordon instead of Johnson or Isaac instead of DCL? I would go with Isaac instead of DCL. Last thing, do you prefer Verbruggen and Mazraoui or Sanchez and Hall? I prefer Sanchez and Hall, mate. Salah, Bruno, Isaac for Johnson, Haaland and Saka. Salah, Bruno, Isaac. Yeah, I mean, Mohib, see, this question is totally dependent on the structure of your team, right? The players which you are bringing in, I like all the three of them. Salah, Bruno and Isaac, they are really great options. And obviously, as compared to Johnson, Bruno is better, Salah is better. The only thing is Haaland and Saka. Maybe you want Saka back in your team after this game week, then how do you plan to get him in? That is the question. So maybe what you can do is maybe you can go for Salah, Bruno and somebody like Nicholas Jackson or somebody else, I don't know, but I mean, I like the move. If you ask me just this question, I like the move, I like it. But obviously there's a risk in transferring out Haaland and Saka, mate. Longer term, you'll want them back in your team. So you should have a plan to get them back, but I like the move. For now, I like the move. Wout Faes or Ben Johnson, whom to play? Both, not good fixtures, but I guess Ben Johnson against United is better than playing, I guess, Wout Faes against... Wout Faes has a header in him. Johnson has an assist in him. But I don't think either of them will keep a clean sheet. I currently have Dean, who I think is better than Mazraoui. Yeah, Dean is fine, mate. I have nothing against Dean. I think he's fine. They forget Dean is in the FPL fraud list. Not always, mate. I remember, I think it was the season in which I think I got my top 500 rank. I think I had Dean for a while there. I think he scored a goal for us in that season. So I always have a soft spot for Dean in the back of my heart. I currently, answered that. Right. So start Mikalenko or 8 Nuri. I would start 8 Nuri over Mikalenko, mate. Lock your teams. Guys, we've got 10 minutes remaining. Please lock your teams. I'm gonna have to take your leave soon after the deadline, guys. So I would make this announcement right now. Next week, after the stream, after the usual deadline stream, we're going to be doing an FPL draft. And I'll request Todd to kind of manage the draft for us. So he'll be managing the draft. Hopefully, if he agrees to do it. So we'll be doing a draft after the deadline next week. So please make some time. We're looking to have 10 to 12 players in the draft for next time. And I'll be online live streaming the draft so we can all have some fun. We can pick our teams and we can get started with this FPL draft. So if anybody's interested, guys, next time after Game Week 13 deadline, we'll be doing this draft. So I'm just making this announcement beforehand so you know. And yeah, let's see what happens. Start Rogers or Johnson? I'd start Rogers over Johnson, mate. Guys, 8 minutes to go to the deadline. I would love it if you all lock your teams. Please lock your teams. Yeah. Do you have stats on Ipswich defense? Bruno against them or Saka against Nottingham Forest? Definitely Bruno against Ipswich. Nottingham Forest has better defensive stats than Ipswich, mate. Bruno is new manager bounce and good form scored for Portugal. I mean, the way he plays for Portugal is different to how he plays against plays for United. But I think the new manager bounce factor definitely counts. I would love it if it was at home, but away at home is a bit, like dicey for me. Otherwise, I like the options. I would definitely captain Bruno over Saka because Saka has also been struggling with an injury. Even if he starts, he's not gonna be 100% fit. So you should know that, bro. Abu G81 says, please. Abu G, I did not get your question, bro. What's the question? I'll answer your question, don't worry. We answer all questions on the stream. We don't leave any comments in the midst because we don't have that many the fast comments. So we try to answer all the questions. Just ask me a question and I'll answer. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. We've got 6 minutes. I'll answer your question. Should I take a hit and get in Livermento instead of Rico Lewis? Get Hall instead of Livermento, Navneet, because the thing is, once Trippier comes back, I'm not sure if Livermento is going to continue playing, That's the thing. I'd prefer Hall over Livermento. Because left back is a spot which is open because I don't think Dan Burn is really an option at left back anymore. I don't think, Eddie Howe trusts him. Hey, start 8 Nuri or Hall this week? I'd start Hall over 8 Nuri, mate. Robinson or Colville? I would go with Colville, Bikalu. Guys, I don't understand. Abu, what was your question, bro? I can only read please and nothing else. Vout phase, I answered that already. Right. We've got 5 minutes to go to the deadline. I would love it if you all lock your teams. Please don't... What's your opinion on my team? Well, I don't know your team, bro. You have to type your team quickly. Because we have 5 minutes. I mean, if you have locked your team and then you're asking my opinion, then I think it's absolutely fine. Henderson, Lewis. Henderson is okay. I mean, obviously a tough fixture. Don't expect a clean sheet. Lewis, 8 Nuri, Hall. Wendeven is injured, won't play. Chelsea team news only is that Palmer is starting. That nothing else. Salah captain, Saka, Palmer, Mbumo is good. Joe Pedro, Haaland. I love the team, bro. Nothing against it. The only thing is I don't think Wendeven is going to play, so one of your defenders will come in for him. I think the core of your team is really good. But the supporting players are a bit you need to be rotated because you've got some injuries and some maybe changes in the team. Captain Haaland or Palmer? I would captain Haaland over Palmer. Team locked, rolling transfer, Captain Salah. It's the same. I'm rolling my transfer and I'm captaining Salah. By the way, if anybody is thinking of captaining Palmer, you're also going against the early kickoff. Remember that. That's also something which we consider. We never go against Gandhiji. Captaining Haaland over Palmer, have a feeling City will bounce back. City should bounce back. Pep announced his extension. Kevin De Bruyne is back. John Stones is back. Walker is back. I don't think losing Kovacic is that big of a blow. Kevin De Bruyne supplying Haaland is a different ball game, mate. I think Haaland is going to be alright. Saying all this makes me want to captain Haaland. I'm going to stick with Salah because I've already considered all this and still made up my mind to captain Salah. Grealish is back as well. Yep, Grealish being back, at least, he holds that width on the left-hand side. He stretches the pitch. And against teams like, Tottenham, I think where Pedro Porro likes to kind of bomb up the pitch, I think it's gonna be tough for them, especially without Romero and Van de Ven. They don't have a defense. Like first, the centre backs both are out. Van de Ven and Romero both are out. Guys, 2 minutes left. If you have any questions, ask. I'm gonna be leaving after this stream, guys. I have to go somewhere. So next week there's gonna be a draft. So I request all of you to kind of take part in the draft. We'll have 12 open slots for the draft, and then we'll pick our teams here live. Flecken or Fabianski? I'm going with Flecken. I think neither of them will keep a clean sheet, but I'm going with Flecken. Made my 2 transfers: Jackson in for Vardy, Bruno in for Foden. Captain Haaland rolled the transfer. Like it. I like it. Trent, Johnson, Solanke to Hall, Salah, Jimenez. I would go with Trent, Johnson, Solanke to Hall, Salah and Joao Pedro for a -4, Abbas. I wouldn't go with Jimenez now. I think Fulham have got difficult fixtures. Better to go with somebody like Joao Pedro. If KDB starts, City will steamroll Spurs. Yep, agree with that. Spurs have always historically been a tough team for City, but that's mostly been away at their home, At City's home, I don't think it's going to be a problem. White Hart Lane or the new Spurs Stadium, whatever we call it now, it always has been a problem for City, some reason, even for Pep Guardiola. Alright, not answering any more questions. Lock your teams. Guys, if you ask me more questions, I will not answer them. Just go and lock your teams, guys. I don't want any messages saying that we missed the deadline because we were late or anything of that sort. We don't do that here. Go lock your teams, guys, right now. Yeah, no more answering questions, guys. So guys, I'm gonna be taking your leave after this stream is over, or after the deadline is over. But next week after the deadline, I'm gonna be here for like, I guess, 1.5 hours more, just building the draft. So if any of you wants to take part in the fun, the excitement, the panic, the shouting, you're welcome to join us. But we'll only have 12 slots. I don't think we'll keep more, maybe even 10. It depends on what Todd recommends. Let's see. Smellywab says transfers made, team locked. Thanks for the advice. You're always welcome, Smellywab. You're always welcome. Zen, bro. We need this Zen more than ever in our lives. It's very important. Zara says thank you, Wiz. You're always welcome. Which defender under 4.8? Hall or somewhere? Hall. Lock your team. Hall. Abbas, just pick Hall. Lock your team. You've got 15 seconds to do it. Quickly lock your team. I'm speaking. Just you make the transfers. Just keep listening to me. Pick Hall. Put him in the team. Lock your team. Captain Haaland or Salah, whichever you have. Quickly. Christian says thank you, boss. You're always welcome, Christian. Thank you so much for being on the stream. Much appreciated, mate. Abbas, lock your team. It's deadline. Oh, I hope you made it, bro. But I'm here for the full 1 hour, bro. You can come here, ask me questions, and we answer all the questions. I never even ignore one comment. You will never see me ignore any comments, guys. Please always come on time. Let's have some fun. Let's not panic at the end of the streams. I always love Zen, we love Zen here. thank you so much everyone for being on the stream tonight. I'm gonna have to take your leave tonight. I have to go somewhere, but I will be with you next time, and we'll have this draft, next time. Hopefully, if Todd agrees to kind of manage that. So thank you everyone for coming on the stream and spending your deadline with me. And remember, now there's no international break until game week, until March. So lots and lots of Premier League stuff coming, and I'm gonna be with you on every deadline stream here on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. If you kind of become a member of the channel by hitting the join button, I give you access to my WhatsApp group and the Twitter group that I've made. So if you want to consider that, please do. Otherwise, I'm thankful for all of you to come on every week on this channel and spend your deadlines with me. So thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you next week for next week's deadline. Till then, take care of yourself. May the arrows be green. Bye bye everyone. I'll see you.